Or don't I? Well, I don't have my notes somewhere, but I'll just kind of go for it. So we're going live here, and I have someone else helping me along the side. Tried to do all technical sorts of things with this camera in the background, and it didn't work out. So I'm just gonna be straight up with the webcam here. Anyway, I'm Adam Sparks Brechtel. I lived and worked with Father Carr and took care of him from 2004 to 2000, when he died. And then I took over as interim director of Father Carr's Place to Be until Joe came in and was elected to be director by the board. And so that's kind of the overbroad picture of what I did. And that's the reason I'm telling this story is because I was asked by Miriam, who was a big help during that time too, and to come and actually tell a little bit about what I was up to. And you're getting all this extra stuff from my daughter because I'm just going to do YouTube Live here and get this thing out and actually some sort of content given for people that are curious. And if you'd like to hear more or something, go ahead and let me know on the mentions on this YouTube thing, and I'll record more stuff. There's other things I could talk about with Father Carr.
Bye-bye! Bye!
I'll try not to be too upstaged by my daughter. But I want to get something recorded here because I said I would, and I want to get it out. Anyway, the big idea is Father Carr was a really big influence to me when I was in seminary. And then when I was done with seminary, I went and lived with him. And at that time, Michael Johannes and someone else, and actually helped out with the Place to Be while I was trying to figure out what I was doing. And it was a real big struggle for me to figure out what I was up to. And, and I look back, I think a lot of that was like unneeded struggle. But it was a struggle I did, so there's nothing I can do about that. And I'm pretty glad that I had a place to do that at. Father Carr eventually went into the hospital and needed someone to kind of take care of the place while he was in the hospital, and that was me. At least for the men's shelter, for the Place to Be, the big Mother Teresa Center, and kind of just sort of opening the door and stuff for the clinic. And a few things with that, but that was really the limit of my control of all those things. I didn't do anything with the finances. That was something that Deacon Keith Hoschbach took care of, and that was pretty great because that was one more thing I didn't have to figure out. And so that's a lot, like kind of a lot of maintenance things, and those are little bits and parts of what that had with the to-dos. But there's a lot more to the story. For instance, I eventually left and got married and now have children, like this one here. And that's been quite a joy. And one of the reasons that I left Father Carr's Place to Be was because I didn't figure someone would want to marry a fellow that was at a homeless shelter trying to run that. And I didn't want to figure that out, even though I really liked what Father Carr was up to. One story I do want to tell is actually one about, there's two stories I want to tell. One is about Father Carr himself and his story, and the other one is about your story and mine. So the first one I'm going to tell is Father Carr had someone come in who had been helping out and actually lived there for a while, Matthew Livingston. And Matthew Livingston had asked Father Carr if he could do a film about Father Carr because he was doing film stuff, and I hope he still is. And anyway, so he said this to Father Carr. I was like, I want us to tell your story. I want to do a video of that. And Father Carr says, what I'd like to really hear is Matthew Livingston's story. I really want to see you do that. And that was the big thing. He really pushed for other people to actually take action. It was less about the story for him and more about what are you going to do? What are you going to make happen? and didn't want to prop himself up so much. He just wanted to make the action happen and enjoy life and make a difference. And that leads me to the other story where Father Carr talked about when he was in seminary. He was having a real tough time, and I believe what happened was one of his his family members or a friend really died or something. I think, or it was someone that he was ministering to while I was in seminary. It was at a hospital, and a live-in internship thing. And when he laid down that night, he kind of told Jesus, he says, this is not working. I don't know what you're up to here. And then what happened is when he heard a big bang and looked across the room, and the cross had fallen off the wall at this religious hospital. And he said and he picked up the arm from that, and what he said, Jesus is telling him, he says, I have no arms anymore. You are my arms. And so he would tell that in a lot of homilies, that story, and he gave me this arm that was from that statue to kind of remind me that, I am his hands and arms. And so that's the thing that I really encourage you to do too. Kind of go out there and, live your life and be a bold person to make a difference for Jesus. And
Hey,
you're his arms.
Hey, your arms.
God bless you.
Where did you get
Or
this?
his mother might say, God love you.
Why did you get this? Where did you get this, Dad? Can we do another video?